zookeepers, and welcome to the North Ridge Zoo. This is an animal bridge I built, probably one of the most difficult things to do in franchise mode, but it's exactly what we need for the hyenas. So sit back and chill as we build our hyena enclosure, the last of our desert area. And probably when it's done, it's gonna be like one of the biggest hyena enclosures because I am giving them all of this space in our desert section. But the main problem is we need to build a bridge that goes into the desert house because I'd like for them to stay in here so then they can have the zookeeper door right there. And that's going to be the big challenge for today. So I've done a little bit of testing and everything, but I mean, what better way of testing something than just working on it? So we're going to go ahead and start doing that. I already have kind of like a design for the bridge laid out. So I'm basically going to want it to be over this pathway, connect into the building. And then we need to build an underground tunnel as well because keepers cannot cross over these bridges. And sadly, you can't put more than 2 doors into an enclosure. You can't even put 2, I guess. So that's probably the big issue that we're facing with. But first, let's just build the bridge, get that settled, and then we can figure out the tunnel very soon. But essentially, the bridge is going to be really, really simple because we're doing it for the hyena. I decided to do it for the hyena because I'd never really seen anybody do something like incredibly special for like a hyena enclosure. And they're pretty like fascinating creatures to me. So I wanted to give them a little bit of something special. And plus, like, I love these animal bridges whenever I see them in zoos and everything. And I wanted to kind of do it where just give it to an animal that I don't normally see, like have something crazy special kind of like this, where it's really like people will be talking about this. This will be the talk of the zoo. They'll be like, did you see the hyena walk across? And they're like, no. And then they'll be like, okay, well, you should go check it out then. Yeah, that's the goal for this area. And that's kind of why I was saving it for the last animal in this area. So yeah, basically I'm kind of using a couple pieces here. We've been using this as a fence piece for the past, I guess just throughout this area. And I really love it. So I found out that this hitbox is actually tall enough for the striped hyenas to pass through. I specifically chose the striped hyenas because they actually have a range that is incredibly wide, and a lot of it is the arid regions of Africa and also the Middle East. So, but yeah, luckily they can fit through what I'm making right here. We will probably have to mess with it a little bit because, like I said, this is probably going to be one of the most difficult habitats that we'll be making in this zoo, but it'll be extremely worth it whenever it is working. So yeah, that's the goal for it to get it to work today. I'm looking for a piece that kind of just fits in right here. I think honestly this, if we just snug it into the fence here, I think it really works well. Yeah, something like that. And then we can kind of like push it in here, get one like there. The only annoying thing about these fences right here, they're not perfectly 4 meters long. So I'll probably have to mess with that a little bit. Nothing to be scared about though. We can easily do that. And then we can go ahead and get this piece worked in right here so you can kind of see a little bit of like that bottom part of that fence. I really like. And then just even that out a little bit. And then of course we need the top, and luckily these are actually the perfect size that I need. So we'll go ahead and put these as the roof for the overpass. And then, yeah, I want to get working on this overpass so I know exactly where I'm putting this. So then we can get into the tunnel making and actually make this animal bridge a workable thing. So the hyenas will run across it as well as the zookeepers. Zookeepers won't be running across it, but they'll be going in this tunnel. But that's going to be the big task for today, is that tunnel. And then also the immense rock work we will be doing later on as well. But we'll dive into that and tackle that problem once we get there. So I want to keep it kind of simple like this. So then you're walking across kind of like this. You're walking around and then you see the hyena run across and everything. This is kind of just like the section I want. Not those rocks. Just this. And then we can actually just go ahead and copy it down like so. I think the pieces will kind of get a little bit... Let's go ahead and actually copy everything but those poles, and then we can get our poles in and sorted later on. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Just like this, and then we can kind of just copy this over. I do need to probably fix... I think this one is a little bit wonky. We don't want any wonky pieces, because once you copy the wonky pieces, you just copy out... Ooh. This whole thing is wonky. Wait a second. What? Part of the issue about building sometimes is just you miss stuff like that right there. Okay. We'll fix these 3 pieces right here, and then we can continue on our bridge. I think a lot of this will also be hidden by the other stuff as well. So the fencing. But yeah, I think this bridge is looking good. I think it fits the area perfectly. Wanted to give it like something special and like kind of dynamic while you're walking up to the desert house, which we finished just last episode. So I think this bridge will definitely do that, which is fantastic. And then from here, I just kind of have to angle it down a little bit. I actually have to get it like matched up perfectly too. It's looking pretty all right. For some reason, a lot of these pieces are just out of place. Okay, yeah, cool. Then we need to go ahead and get one of these pieces, and we'll just go ahead and angle it down. We'll move it all the way across here, and then we obviously need the wonderful hyenas to go into their enclosure area. So let's get that kind of matched up. There's a little bit of a gap right there, but we can go ahead and fix that by just moving a few of the pieces. So then they connect up that way. Move some of the pieces so they connect up there. Okay, cool. As long as we get the general shape of it, we can kind of come in, mess with some of the pieces and everything. But basically, we want them to go into there, and then we'll have the tunnel system as well. But hopefully, some of them will use the bridge more so. So just unselect all that we don't want. And there's one rock we don't want in there, right there. And there. Okay, cool. And then select that one. And I think that's all the pieces for the bridge. Yeah, currently. Oh, missed a few actually. That one. And that one. There we go. Okay, and we can kind of move it exactly into place. We want it to be right over the opening here, or like the big area. So I low-key think it's gonna be here. Maybe even raise it up a little bit. Maybe like there, actually. Yeah. That is looking pretty good right there. Okay. So yeah, the hyenas will be running across there. Guess we'll walk under it. There's oftentimes the issues with this, and why I say it's like one of the hardest things to probably build in franchise mode, is the guests kind of like freak out a lot of the time. You can turn that off in sandbox mode, but in franchise mode, you're not able to turn off like animal escapes is kind of what they're called. And technically they're not escaping. Like me and you know, the hyenas wouldn't be able to get onto the path, but the Planet Zoo guests think their life is flashing before their eyes and that a hyena escaped. So we kind of do have to mess with it a little bit. But I think that should be good. Okay, and then we're going to be building a massive tunnel right here that goes down and underneath the path into their main enclosure. And that's how the keepers are going to get in. And we're going to try our best in order to actually do that. One way of kind of doing that, we need to go ahead and actually connect this to the group. So then we can kind of make this one area right here flat. And then we can go ahead and we need one of the roof pieces actually, because you can get slanted roofs like this. So then it kind of just goes down for you. And then hopefully we can go down far enough to where it goes under the path and then into the enclosure. So we're going to have to make it look really nice. Obviously, in real life, you would not need to build a tunnel like this in order to do like an animal bridge. Oftentimes, animal bridges are just used to separate two different areas of an enclosure where wherever you like you want to separate maybe like leopards or something. Say you have like a male and female and it's not breeding season, you're able to separate them kind of like this. But in Planet Zoo, there's no kind of like way to do that. So you kind of have to, if you want to do an animal bridge, it's looking something like this. So yeah, this is mostly just so the keepers can get it. Actually, I might be able to hide a keeper habitat over, or a door over here in this area. You know what? That's exactly what I'm going to do. I know this is like technically the keeper area. I think I'm just going to kind of imply it. And the actual exhibits door will be over here and I'll just hide it. Bo. Yeah. Okay. I guess we don't have to build a tunnel today then. That saves a lot of problems. I'm not going to lie. We'll just imply it. Some things are best implied. I don't want to spend too much time doing that anyways. I think it's much better to be doing this. But we can still have the hyenas cross over this bridge by doing a really simple technique. We just put something they need over there that the keeper doesn't need to like refill. And one of the best cases is probably their water pipe. So the hyenas will constantly be using this bridge whenever they need a drink of water. And then they run in, get a sip, and then they can run back out into what is going to be a very big enclosure. We're wanting a big enclosure because hyenas are, at least in Planet Zoo, you can have like 6 of them. And I want all 6 males. So you can have up to 6 males and 1 female. And I was like, it would be really cool to have kind of like just like a bachelor group. That's like maybe like a holding facility for just male hyenas. A lot of like zoos, if they have extra space or anything, they can just like store a specific like gender of animals. For example, like I know the San Diego Zoo, one of their facilities only has male gorillas because it's just like a bachelor group. So whenever a zoo needs like a male gorilla, they'll just send one of theirs kind of thing. So that's the general sense of what I want to do with this hyena area. So yeah, and then this is going to be a big cliff right here that guests will be able to view them from underneath right in this area. So I want to spend more time making this hyena area look better than digging tunnels. So I don't know, I didn't think about that earlier, to be honest. Sometimes you just get the ideas while you're mid-process, and that's never too late. Never too late to have a good idea. Unless you're already published the YouTube video of you building the hyena enclosure. That's when it's a little too late. I think so, but no. I could have still changed it, but this way we're not having to spend time digging in Planet Zoo, because that is one of the worst things to do in Planet Zoo, working with terrain. So I'd much rather be building the guest side of things and making this final enclosure for the desert area look fantastic. So yeah, I wanted to do the hyenas too, just because they're in the Sahara Desert in the Middle East, but also because since we're in the Pacific Northwest, it does get pretty chilly, and I wanted to kind of like have an animal that's outside, and luckily the desert gets cold enough to where the hyenas, they're pretty chill in cold weather. So I was able to actually find that they liked the cold weather, so they won't complain in franchise mode, and I don't have to pay for like a ton of heaters and stuff. If I had like a different kind of African animal to finish off this like desert area, a lot of them might have complained about the weather when it does snow, whenever it snows in franchise. So yeah, cool. Yeah, looking pretty good so far. We will have to worry about, I guess let's finish off the bridge here. We do have to figure out if the hyena can actually walk across this. I did tests. This is just all wonky, I'm not gonna lie. Where did I go wrong? I might have to do these individually, actually. I think so. Okay. Nothing I'm not scared about. But yeah, we might have to worry about like their hitbox and everything, because it's like the littlest thing can kind of like make it different or whatever, like block their path. I did do testing with this design specifically, just in like a random sandbox, and they were able to go through it. So I'm hoping it works. If not, we can kind of see if there's like one little piece in their way. So I kind of want to finish this bridge and get all the pieces set, and then we can kind of go ahead and see if it's working. But I also have to figure out and build the rest of the habitat. We don't want to be sending them through the bridge into an open field with no barriers and then just release the hyenas into the zoo. I don't think the media would appreciate that. I think they would say I let the hyenas out on purpose, which is not true. I was just testing their bridge. So yeah, that would not be good publicity for the zoo, especially since we're still pretty new on. So yeah, there we go. Okay, and then we can go ahead and copy this over and just kind of finish off this tunnel section right here, and then just kind of have it connect into the desert dome that we built just last episode. There we go. Cool. And then I'll have to build kind of I'll go ahead and get like a plaster piece. And we're going to try our best. Can we use this one? I think this covers up a lot of it, but we're going to have to do a lot more work actually to fill in exactly everything. Oh, what is that color? Is that not white? Oh, it is. It's a little different. I'll have to match it. What is this color? It is. Okay, let's go ahead and copy that over to here. I don't think it changed. I think it's like right. Where's the little cursor? I think it's like this color. It's so hard matching the colors sometimes. Yeah, I'll go ahead and just kind of copy this over, and then from there it actually will have us have the right color. There we go. Much easier system there. And then we'll go ahead and add all of these pieces to kind of just make it, fill it in and make the wall look like it's an actual wall. There we go. Just like so. Yeah, I'm going to have to test if any of these pieces block the hyena's path as well. Like I said, I tested the bridge and everything like that. So the bridge should be good. It's more of these like pieces over on this side that I'm kind of worried about that might block their system, their walk system. So, yeah. In Planet Zoo 2, they might have fixed this issue a little bit more with hitboxes, but I guess we're going to find out come October. Okay. I don't think any of this is lined up. There we go. No, it's not. Okay, I think that's close enough, though. And if not, I'll fix it later. Yeah, everything's just wanting to be a little wonky today. That's okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah, something along those lines. So they kind of just run in over there. And then we'll go ahead and get this side all built up. And just kind of continue the pattern all the way down this ramp right here. Cool. I think that one's a little bit weird too. Yeah, the big test is going to be actually getting the hyenas in and seeing if it works. Okay, that's good enough. And then we can kind of just do this a little bit. And probably just one more. And then I think for this one, I can kind of just delete this part. And that part can just be all ramp right there. Something like that. Yeah. And then I think I can just copy these two over. Oops. Just like so. Cool. And then get it all lined up. And boom. That should be one hyena bridge completely built. Hopefully. We'll go in and kind of mess with it once we get the hyenas to figure it out. Maybe I'll build some support beams too. That might be another thing that I'll add probably off camera there. But yeah, let's get some of this rock work to kind of get our barrier going. Because once we have the barrier set, we can get the hyenas actually in and see if we need to change anything. That's going to be the big test. So let's kind of get everything sorted in that sense. And just kind of build up everything that we need so the hyenas can't escape. AKA, it's going to be a lot of rocks. A lot of rocks. I just really like this combination between the taiga rock and the desert rock. Not the desert rock. It's the aquatic rock, but it looks like a desert rock, right? There we go. Okay, and then I guess we can just do like a kind of like a one that goes up that way. Just kind of build up this little rock wall here. Can kind of build something like there. Cool. Maybe one more kind of like that. Yeah. And like I said, it is going to be kind of like just a lot of the rocks as the natural barrier. We'll have concrete within here so guests don't stop and kind of like look through rocks. I'm pretty sure that trick works. I'm not actually 100% sure. I've always kind of just done it because I figured that they can't look through the concrete wall, but who knows? Who knows? Okay, and then we can kind of just copy this over to there. Make it one kind of like just rock, flat rock there. And there. Because when they're walking up, I want them kind of focused on the camel and addicts enclosure right to their left right here. So I don't want them having to peek in the hyena. One thing we will be building is a little glass viewing area right here. It's technically not in like the little path area, but I am going to kind of have like an offshoot, just something really small, kind of like so. Actually, we're gonna do a 4 And I'll go ahead and make it where it's like a little viewing area. And we can go ahead and just kind of make it like so. And then we'll have it kind of dip back in here. Actually, I'm going to just make this bigger. I thought I'd have more room with that kind of style, but that's okay. And then kind of have it just so the people who are viewing the hyenas aren't interrupting the walk flow, essentially. That's kind of why it's good to make those kind of extensions. And then we'll go ahead and put some rocks down here. And then I'll kind of go back out this way to this hill. Like so. And then I'll kind of go up here. And then one big feature we'll be having is like there's going to be... This one is going to interrupt the walk flow, I guess. It is kind of just like a ditch right here. So technically this isn't in the desert area, but it kind of, the hyenas still kind of match the area that we're going to be building in the future over in here, like the surrounding exhibit that will be going around here. I guess a spoiler, it's going to be like Africa themed. So I figured that the hyena being seen kind of from this area, the pathway, isn't going to be awful. But even so, it'll fit the theme nonetheless. So we can have this side kind of look more traditionally like the African plains, and then over here more deserty. And I figured that's a great way to kind of use one animal for two areas. You know, it's like a 2-for-1 special. Just something I thought up in the design, and I was like, I'm gonna totally run with it. Now I won't use as many rocks. I guess it'll give it a kind of a sense of a desert feeling still. But since it's like this area is technically not part of the desert area as much, I probably won't use the rocks, the aquatic rocks, as much. I guess up this way I still will, over by the viewing area. And then we can do something simple like this. And then I love building and using just like this rock as a great kind of fence. It's just something easy, you know. We'll kind of build this around like so. And then I'm thinking, oh, one more. And the area right back here will be kind of covered in trees, so a lot of people won't see this kind of area. In fact, I'll probably block it with this like big rock right here. So that'll be like a nice little area to get away from guests if the hyenas want. Okay, yeah. And then this is just going to be a massive rock wall right along there because... we're going to have like a little food area right there. I'll probably build off camera, and then you'll be able to see it in the tour that I'll be taking of the desert area once I'm done. And then it's going to look a lot like this, just kind of down this way. So let's go ahead and actually continue just that same kind of rock technique that I was just using to fill in a lot of just this gap. There we go. Then we can kind of do something fancy where it's like maybe this one's like standing up. Like so. Yeah. We can come in and make all of this look a little better a little later. Like I said, I just kind of want to get the hyenas in so then we can see if everything is working out. We also have to find a place to put a cheeky little keeper door that is hidden. Honestly, just that rock right there is not bad. Maybe I can go ahead and kind of like make it a little hidden. And then are we able to put like a door here? Or is that too much that might be too much on a hill, actually. Is there any other places kind of like that I can just sneak honestly, here might be decent. Maybe everyone's going to be looking at camels. They won't turn around and see like a little cheeky door. that I'm about to put in. Some guests actually might stop and look through the door. Sometimes they do that, but I think honestly I can kind of get away with it. If we go something like this and just hide it right there. Something along those lines, and then we can actually make this into like a sandy thing. Okay. Something along those lines. Get some rocks in here. And it looks like there is nothing there. They wouldn't even know that's the hyena door. Okay. Now, since we have that, we can kind of actually expand. Go ahead and expand the wall. At least to what we have so far. We'll go ahead and build it down here. And then I'll figure out that situation in a second. And then we can kind of put it all the way across here. And this is where it's interesting, because technically we need the hyena enclosure to extend out this way with null barriers. And I think you can actually... Is there a way we can put it on the items? I don't think we can build on the... Let me see. Is it going up with it? No. I don't think it is. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to do it this way then. I think if it was like part of terrain, you can build it up. But essentially, we just need the null barrier to be like, oh yeah, the hyena's allowed in this area, including the bridge. And I hope it's high enough to where if a hyena passes over it, the guests don't freak out. That's going to be the big test. We'll see. That's what I'm scared about. But you know, it's something we have to try. Okay, let's go ahead and put more of the barriers over here, so it's all the concrete under the rock. Just kind of hide it underneath the rock and stuff. And the hyenas shouldn't have to work. Like they won't jump over the rocks or anything. And if there is one that's kind of too low, we can kind of fix that. There we go. Let's get the null barrier kind of down here. And just tell the game that it's okay that the hyena is crossing this bridge right here. Oh, I guess we can cover up this. I just realized my tunnel system was completely viewable. So glad we don't have to keep building that tunnel. I think I'd still be on that tunnel. Hopefully I don't have to build it. I guess we're gonna find out here really soon. Okay, and then go ahead and kind of flatten this whole thing. And then finish up the barrier and connect it there. Okay. And then the main reason we want them to have to come in here is for this water pipe that we'll just place right in the middle right there. So hopefully they'll run over the bridge, grab a drink of water, and then run back and forth throughout the whole day. So then as guests come up and towards the desert dome and everything, they just see hyenas running across them. And hopefully that brings a few smiles to the NPCs' faces. That's really the goal of this game, is appeasing the NPCs. Now it's building hyena bridges. That's the main goal. So hopefully we're completing that today. So yeah, I think the bridge is looking really good. As I pictured this area, this is exactly how I pictured it. Something along these lines. There we go. Okay, let's finish off this big hyena enclosure now. One thing we're gonna have to do, let's go ahead and place just something simple, kind of like right here, for that area. Then we can actually get a little fancy with it, I guess, and kind of do something like this. There we go. Yeah, okay. And then what I need to do is build like a dry moat. One of the ways, do I do a plaster? I normally do it. I think I like turning concrete, and I'm pretty sure I can color it to brown. And I'll give you a little sample. Let me see if I can change it. Is this the one that I normally do? You can change it to brown. Wherever is the color brown. And it just kind of looks like dirt. And I love it. And I think that's kind of perfect for just the vibe we're about to do. I actually do these panel pieces. Let me go ahead and do it where it's this panel piece rather than the floor. That's a little too much. Okay, and then we go ahead and make one little section of it, and then we can go ahead and copy that over. So we want it to be a pretty steep incline because we don't want the hyenas jumping out or anything. And then we're gonna go ahead and copy that over like so. So then we can copy it one more time, bring it up, bring it down like that, and then spin it around. So then this is the side that touches the path right here. And we're gonna just make one section of the fence, just kind of like how we did with the bridge. And then as soon as it's perfect and hopefully no wonky pieces, we can copy it all the way around this dry moat section. So let's go ahead and get some fences. And I'm gonna make this like fence not too themed like we did in the rest of the desert area. Just because it's not technically part of it anymore. Technically the exhibit's just gonna be kind of like, this side of the exhibit's just gonna be kind of theme neutral. It's just gonna be like, oh yeah, that's the hyenas right there. And then let's pull that down a little bit. I think that's actually, it's looking wonky. This fence is never easy to work with, I'm not gonna lie. But I think that's as good as I'm gonna get it. This is just so just in case the hyenas pile up or something and try to plan an escape, it's a little bit more difficult, and then it'll also be hidden. One thing I wanna do is also add a little mulch to, oh, I always forget, it's in nature. Add a little bit, like a little stretch of mulch onto it, so then we can hide that fence even more with some plants and stuff. Like so. There we go. And then we're gonna go ahead and actually, as well, we need another kind of fence. And this is actually what I was thinking of. I don't know what the fence is gonna look like over here quite yet, so I'm just gonna make like a basic one for now, where it's just something like this, where it's like just the posts and the mesh. So we'll go ahead and I guess add that. I love changing this wood color to a brown, maybe a little darker brown. So yeah, just something basic like this on this side. Then we'll go ahead and merge all of those into a group, so then we can kind of move them all at the same time, sink it in, and then we can go ahead and just copy it all the way across. And I don't think it's on an incline. Is it? Ooh, it might be. Okay, and then we can kind of just keep going along with this pattern. Try to get the fences lined up as much as possible. I guess I'm more worried about these fences because I might change the outside fence anyways. So I'm not too worried about connecting this area. You know what? I'm just gonna delete that for now anyways. And then I'll figure out that area very soon before the opening of the desert area. I guess I've been calling it like the living desert is kind of the running title I've been doing. Okay. Yeah, then go ahead and get that in. So yeah. Ooh. Something's off still. I guess I'm more worried about these moats connecting and looking decent, because that's going to be the most obvious thing from far away. So let's go pull these out actually further. Like so. Like I said, once one piece is wonky, it kind of makes the whole thing, especially on turns. Turns make it a lot more difficult. And then the top part's going to be kind of covered in branches as well, but it does seem like it's a bit on an incline, which is my worst fear. But I think it's just so slightly incline that it's not terrible. Yeah, I don't think it's too bad. Cool. Yeah, and this is just how you make a dry moat. Hopefully it's a little easier in the sequel, but we're gonna find out. Okay. This one's kind of giving me a little bit of issues because I don't want this part sticking out. So we're gonna have to kind of tilt it ever so slightly. Or lift it up? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that part's a little weird. But nothing rocks can't fix. This is why I like doing this, the barriers first and everything, because you can come in with all of your rocks and stuff and cover up any ugly parts that you don't want guests to see. So, yeah. The rock work is always just fantastic. It really helps save a lot of habitats. Like, for instance, I don't think you can hide that section, so you can come in with a gigantic rock and just kind of like cover it up like so. So then it just kind of looks like, oh yeah, that's just, they built it into the rock right there. Same thing with like this area right here. It's ever so small, but we can kind of block it up with that rock. Maybe even like tilt it a little bit, like so. Rotate it. We can do whatever we want with it, and then scoot it up, lower it, and boom. Now it's part of the exhibit. So yeah, that's gonna be the lower half right there. And then I think we just need to fill in right here, and we can go ahead and actually, I wanna get the taiga rocks out, so it's not just the same rock repeating over and over again. We can go ahead and kind of like mix it up over here. Get this big one and kind of make the rock wall out of that kind of color rock. Like so. Maybe we actually repeat that because that's a great rock right there. Then we can do it again. Let's go ahead and... That's too small. That's too small. We need the big ones. Is that a pretty big one? Yeah, that's a big one. And then all of the rocks along here. And then we can go back to the original one we were kind of rocking with, which is this big one. Soon we'll be resizing tools in Planet Zoo 2, and that's going to be fantastic. Cool. Yeah, that's looking really good. I think maybe I'll throw in a couple of these just to help break it up. There we go. Yeah, I think that's honestly all we need. Cool. Okay, let's get the berries down, and then... Oh, I need to finish this little stretch right here. I haven't thought out the whole glass area. So let's just go and kind of do a makeshift idea right now. I know it's going to be a lot of poles, like wooden beams to kind of match that vibe. Let's kind of get it like that. And then maybe we can extend this one just to meet up with that taller rock. Cool. Yeah. And then have the concrete wall go up to here, and then we'll go ahead and have our glass section right here. Like so. Maybe straight. And then we'll go ahead and curve it around like that. There we go. And then hopefully the hyenas are gonna love that area. We'll put some things to kind of entice the hyenas to kind of go down there near the guests as well, because this is a gigantic enclosure, and Planet Zoo guests kind of complain sometimes when they can't see the animal, which I get it. I guess if you're paying the prices to get in, you kind of want to be able to view the animals and stuff. But yeah, this is probably going to be the biggest hyena enclosure I've ever built. I think, honestly, if I only ever built one, and I have like 500 hours in the game, and I think I've only ever built for the spotted hyena, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm excited to see the striped hyena. It'll be fun. I can't believe I've never... I might have. I don't know. I might be a big liar. We're going to find out as soon as I put them in, which I think I can go ahead and do now, just to test how the area is looking. This is a massive enclosure, and I'm not even close to done yet. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be a long, and this is gonna be a longer episode, I'm thinking. We need the striped hyenas though, and we're gonna get 6 males. Okay, we're gonna get 3 males, because that's kind of what's happening right now. That's what's for sale. And those 3 males will eventually, we'll get 6. But we'll start with the 3, and they're gonna enjoy this massive area until their friends join them. Okay, let's go ahead and send them into here. I'm hoping this is enough covered space for them. I guess we're gonna find out. But for now, let's kind of keep working on the rock work. Like I said, I'm kind of wanting like a bigger kind of centerpiece here, or at least like a bigger rock kind of to block a little bit of the view. Oh, maybe scoot it back a little further. I'm thinking more like here, I guess. Yeah, so then you kind of just viewing it from here. Apparently there's a high amount of unresolved pickpocket resort. Oh no. Apparently the zoo's high on thieves. That's a quick fix. We're just gonna hire a ton of security people. Just jot those around. Part of the fun of playing franchise mode while recording. You know, you have to go and solve the day. Okay. And then I guess we can kind of like incorporate some of these other rocks as well. Yeah, just something to kind of block the view, make the habitat feel multi-layered, so you kind of like, you get a different view from over here versus where the other one is, down there and stuff. But we have our hyenas in. This is gonna be the big moment of truth. Oh my gosh, they can't get over it. Okay. Okay, and they can break out there. Okay. Lots of things to fix. First, they're already mad about this not being in the work zone. Let's go ahead and add this to the work zone. Oh my gosh, so many things to fix. There, it's in the work zone. Don't worry about that. At what point can they not get up? The curve. Okay. If I make this taller, is that fine? Let's go ahead and hit play. It's gonna be a lot of finicky. No. Okay, is it the outsides? Here. Oh, it honestly might be the angle of this piece. There we go. No. What if I delete this and this? No. What else could it be? Is it the slant? Oh, maybe these pieces? Let's go ahead and scoot those in. Or out, I guess. This is why I was scared to do the over animal bridge, but I'm so excited if it works. Okay. Okay, it's coming along. Now we need something over here's the problem now. Okay, I guess we'll like I guess we'll do the same thing. Scoot this out. And scoot this out. There we go. Okay. That was the problem. And now they can get in here, drink their water, and then run all the way back. Here's the problem we need to fix right here. We do not want the hyenas breaking out. So we'll go ahead and put just like taller rocks, I guess, right here. Because I think the problem is they can jump up that. Hit play. Is that resolved? That is resolved. And it's looking a lot better. Okay. Cool. And are they happy? Yeah, they have plenty of space. Love that. Let's get actually the enrichment items in, because those will be fun to kind of jot around. I guess a prey-scented sack down here to kind of get them going over there. Then we'll do a dog toy there. They need more food enrichment, but I guess they have the bamboo feeder, which we'll put down here, so then they come over to this side of the habitat. There we go. And kind of rotate it so it doesn't roll. I guess it's going to roll nonetheless. Okay. And then we'll do a large soccer ball right there. Cool. Yeah. They're loving it. I'm loving it. Honestly, think they're just happy. They're already just happy. That's fantastic. But I'm not. We're still needing to do a lot of work. Let's start making this kind of more natural looking right there. Add some nice rocks. It's kind of nice that it is just a lot of rock work. I think we're going to have to get into the planting very soon. But let's get a couple more kind of rocks in here. We're going to get the bigger rocks, and then I kind of want to go in with like a bunch of those pebble pieces. And scatter those about. That's going to make this area come even more alive. And then obviously finishing this bottom area as well is going to make the area come even more alive. Cool. Here and here. I guess we're still in like the sandy area at this point, so I can add a little bit more of these colored rocks all the way down here. And then I'll build a little nice thing. But let's get some of these pebble rocks and kind of jot these around now. They have plenty of space too. A lot of the time it's kind of scary using these because they take up a lot of the animals' like hitbox area. Ooh. I didn't realize this was on a hill right here. Let's go ahead and kind of like make it like so. And I have to double check to make sure that they can't break out right there. Are you good? You're not gonna escape right there? No, you're not. Okay, perfect. Yeah, but a lot of the time I don't use these rocks because it's like, oh no, it's gonna take so much of their space or something. But since we built this enclosure so massive, we can just spam these everywhere and not have to worry about their space requirements because we gave them plenty. So let's get some up here like this. And let me see if I've actually had striped hyenas. I need to do I need to do research on them? I do. This is my first time having striped hyenas. And we haven't even took in a look. I was just so scared they were going to be scared. Oh my gosh, they're so amazing. I know we're getting spotted hyenas in Planet Zoo 2, but striped hyenas are just incredible creatures. A little scary looking with their tufts, but they are awesome. Hyenas, top tier animal. They're very overpowered as well. Very cool. Okay, let's pause it so it doesn't become day or start snowing or anything. So we can see all of the rocks that I'm placing down. We're gonna spam this area. We're gonna get all these down. See what their terrain requirements are. I know they're happy with their terrain, but I do kind of want to add a lot more sand in the area. And then let's get some of these down here. Like so. I might change them to actually gray in this area, just since this is kind of like back to like the normal zoo vibes. Let's get like a gray that kind of matches it a little bit. I don't think it's gonna match perfectly, but this one's at least more gray. And let's go ahead and align it to surface as well, so it's just kind of easier to get down everywhere, like so. Maybe add a little rock pile over here. Bunches of rocks everywhere. One thing I really like doing is just kind of adding a huge rock pile right up against this dry moat. I feel like it just kind of like would be a real thing that zoos do, is kind of like just pile up like the debris and stuff. And I just realized I covered up their enrichment. Where did I put it? I saw the fruit thing. We're just gonna go ahead and move that to up here. There we go. Cool. There we go. Maybe get some of these gray ones kind of mixed in with the sand ones I was putting down. And then some up here. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I think this side is going to be a lot more like wooded. So let's go ahead and kind of get some of the plants that they like. We'll go for Africa temperate and Asia temperate, because we want it to match the kind of like region we're in right over here, the Northwest vibe. So I really want to find kind of plants that look like that for this area over here. And then we'll kind of match up the deserty area for the kind of like the downhill area over on the other side. Luckily, they love this broken tree. I absolutely love using these branches, so we're gonna use all that we can right here. Like so. Cool. Yeah, we can make this area look actually pretty lush, which is awesome. I want to do, I guess, a bigger tree or something. Maybe as like the centerpiece. Oh, we'll have plenty of these. Oh, yeah. This tree looks fantastic for both the desert and the shrub area, or like the Northwest vibe we're going for. Let's go ahead and scatter these in. Oh, yeah. And then we can kind of break up this viewpoint right here. Oh, looks great. Cool. Yeah, so it's almost like they have, from like the guest perspective, it almost looks like there's like multiple hyena enclosures. You won't be able to even realize that this is all part of one big area. I'm sure they'll put two and two together once they see the hyenas and stuff, but that's kind of the vibe I want. It's like you don't have to go into the desert area to see the hyenas. You'll be able to see it when you're walking to the Africa area. That will be very soon. Cool, maybe just like one big bush in the middle here. Yeah, that looks great. I'm loving these plant requirements. Sometimes with like desert animals, they don't want a lot of ones, but I guess like the striped hyena is just so versatile that it works. They also love this cypress tree, and I also love this cypress tree. So let's go ahead and put one like maybe right there. Can you kind of see that from there though? Guess you won't. Yeah, that's fine. And then we'll put one here as well. Yeah, okay. Maybe not. That's a little too big. Maybe one actually closer to this moat, I'm thinking. Yeah, maybe there. Kind of blocks just this whole tree trunk. I want the tree trunk seen. Maybe lean it up against this rock better. There we go. Okay. Let's jump back into making this enclosure look beautiful. I guess I don't think I selected their desert biome. Let's go ahead and select that as well, so we can kind of add everything that they love. What else do we want kind of in this? I want to fill in this area first because I feel like most of the vegetation will kind of come from here. You can do a nice big tree here, tree/bush thing. That's way too big. Yeah, throw in one of these. That looks Pacific Northwest vibey. I definitely need ferns. I think I did see that they like the ferns. Or a type of fern. But it's gonna take a while to find it. Ooh, this would be a good kind of like deserty plant that I'll throw in over here. There, maybe. Yeah, we'll get into the desert vibes soon. Where's the ferns? Just look up fern. There they are. Should have done that from the beginning. Okay, and we definitely want kind of like this mulchy area to be covered in some good plants as well. So let's get some ferns in here. And then since it's kind of like peeking into their habitat, they're gonna be frustrated if it goes over. So we definitely want to place all of the plants up here first, so then we don't come time to where they have too many plants in their habitat and we haven't placed any of those over there. So okay, let's go ahead and kind of put some of these like smaller plants around, start filling in the flora a lot more. Fill the floor over here, just up this kind of walkway, make it look really lush. Yeah, I love having like the different viewpoints because you can definitely have it where it's like almost like a full different theme over here, and I'm loving taking advantage of it. Okay, and then maybe just like a little fern area right here. Yeah, looking great. Okay. Away with the ferns because we are now on to, I guess, more of the deserty area. Let's go ahead and add the dead tree right away. You know what? We're going to add 2 dead trees just because we're crazy like that. We're going to have this one kind of more. Can I do it upside down or something? Hanging off like this or something? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that looks amazing. I wasn't expecting it to be so good. Okay, and then we'll lie that down. We'll kind of have like a dead tree here. Yeah. Looks really good. I can kind of go still a little crazy over in this area. We'll go ahead and lie this one down as well, now that I know I like the trees laid down so much. Ah, looks good. Okay, and then I think I was using some of these plants, but I don't know if they like them, but I'm gonna use them anyways, just to kind of like tie in a lot of the same shrubbery I was using. Go ahead and fill in like these areas. How's that? Do they like those or hate them? They don't love them. They don't love them. Actually, they like the little one that I put in. So I guess I can put a lot more of these in. What is it called? I don't even know. But I'm going to use them. Oops. Like so. And then kind of just fill in, I guess, this like rock wall a little bit more. Yeah. Just kind of gives life to this rock a bit. Yeah. And maybe one right there. And then kind of along this ridge. And then maybe one of these right. Just lower it right there. Cool. Little slice of desert right there. And then not a lot of people will see this area. But since I'll be able to see it kind of in the overview, I guess I'll go ahead and kind of like make it a little bit more full. I guess just use a lot of these plants right here. And then we'll use a lot of these kind of rocks just scattered about. There we go. Scattered there, scattered there. Oh, it's starting to rain. Let's pause it before it's full on raining. I forgot to hit play. Part of the problem of building a zoo in the Pacific Northwest. I have to deal with that rain. But that's okay. I just don't like building with it on, because it makes it a little difficult to see. But I wanted the vibes of the Pacific Northwest, so I don't regret it. Cool. Okay, let's kind of get into the terrain work, because I haven't really touched that. And then I think after that, the final thing will be just building this little cover for the guests to view, and then the hyena's going to be done. So let's kind of get the terrain going. We want soil up here, because that's going to be a lot of like they're walking around it. They can have 100% sand. Oh my gosh. And you're just now telling me this? I'm going to go full on sand over here. Maybe some like dirt. Just kind of like so. That's the desert area. That's perfect. Go full on dirt right there. Get some dirt up here. I want sand down here. Like so. And then we'll go ahead and get the dirt like that. And then maybe some short grass to kind of just make this area a bit brighter. Like that. And then we can have kind of like a little trail that they love to use. Just kind of go up and down throughout this area. And then some more grass, little chunks. Like so. I guess let's go ahead and kind of move these a little bit over. And you know what? Throw in a random bush here and there. Cool. Yeah, I think honestly that terrain ain't bad. Maybe a little bit over, like a little trail through there as well. And then they like this bush, so we'll kind of fill in there. Cool. Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is probably one of the most beautiful hyena enclosures I've ever seen. Hopefully you've ever seen. I feel like the hyenas kind of get the short end of the stick a lot of the time. I feel like the people give the cool enclosures to the lions and stuff, but lions don't like cold weather, so I can't have them here. Let's go ahead and do that bush right there, and then kind of get some more rocks and stuff. I still want this area right here to kind of look good. Yeah, it's looking really good from every angle I'm checking. One thing we do need to check is how are the hyenas doing? I haven't even seen them across the bridge. Oh my gosh, I need to witness that. We need to witness that together. Maybe you saw that in the background. I actually don't know. I need to also check if having those covers right there is going to ruin it. Okay, let me see. Did it ruin it? No, thankfully it didn't. Okay. Oh, there's one already over here. Okay, so it does work. This guy is proof of it. I just want to see it. Oh my gosh, wait, they might be. Are you guys doing it? It looks like you want to. Oh my gosh, are they going together? Oh, it looks so good from the path. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm kind of picturing. Just like that. Is his friend about to do it too? He's all wet, he's shaking. Oh, I think they're going in because it is raining. Is he about to do it too? Let's view it from this other angle. Oh my gosh, I love when a plan comes together. If he shows up, I don't know. Is he? Where is he? Oh, he's just sleeping. Okay, I guess this is technically considered cover right here. I don't know. He's just sleeping on the bridge. That's fine. These two are in here, and that's what matters. I love it. You know what? I'll add I forgot to add like a little, they can sleep on this. There we go. Give you some hay to sleep on. Go crazy, kids. Cool. Ah, I love when a plan comes together. You know what? I'll also give them kind of like this little sleeping pad up there as well. It is raining, so I am going to just keep playing into... Oh my gosh, still pit pocketer. As soon as I hit play, there's just issues. I think I saw one issue was that it's underpriced, and you know what? I'm gladly to raise those prices. Cool. Yeah, okay. The final thing we kind of need to do is build this area. While it's raining, though, is the problem. So while it's raining, I'm going to kind of take the time to kind of just fill in some of this area right here. Just because this is going to be completely covered by a whole bunch of shrubbery kind of like over here. I'm looking for one specific small tree. There we go. There it is. I love this little small tree. It's perfect for filling in spots like that and like that. And then we can kind of just keep stacking it so then it's all kind of covered. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do all the planting and stuff on the outside. I also need to do it right over here. So it's going to look something kind of like this. And then it'll kind of get into the deserty theme once you kind of cross this threshold. Ah, it's looking stunning, but we're not done. We need to fill in this area. And honestly, I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. I do kind of want to make it where it's like a bit of a viewing area. There's one piece that I really love, but apparently I didn't like it. Where, I think it's called a frame? Yeah, oh, it is. Would this work? No, it's a little too big. Okay, we're gonna have to make our own, which I love to do. It won't complain. Okay, let's get some wood pieces. And we want, not specifically wood. Let's get pole. What is it more called? Column, I guess. Oh my gosh, I think it stopped raining. Okay, we'll go ahead and pause it. Column. That is pretty sturdy. Not that big. That's more African themed, I think. Low-key, we can get away with it though. So let's go ahead and make kind of just like a one that we can kind of copy and paste is the idea. It's basically so there's not glare on the glass when you're viewing them. So I really love these kind of like panel pieces, and I think low-key it's perfect. So we'll go ahead and kind of get one of these, and then I just realized it's not, we need, oh, would this fit? It kind of slopes down. That would be kind of perfect. Let's go ahead and line that up and then kind of have it angled. Ah! I didn't realize this was an option. Yeah, I really like that actually. So then it's a little bit more decorative towards the outside. And then we can actually have these kind of lined up. These will be kind of like part of the glass, but we also want them on the outside over here. I think I'm gonna have to do them individually. Something like there. Oh, I might have to actually make it wider. Yeah, we'll definitely have to make it a lot wider. Because I built with, I think, a 6-piece for the sidewalk. Okay, let's just kind of get the first one kind of lined up. Honestly, it's looking pretty good already. Go ahead and kind of get these sunk down a little bit. And then I need to... Oh, it's definitely not wide enough. Okay. Let's just get these moved to kind of where I'm thinking it'll be. And then is there a piece that I can just extend with that wood? So then it's not too wide. What are these called again? I know they're from the conservation pack. I guess I should just stop typing in wood and then having to look. Okay, it's called slat clay. There it is. There is this one, but it's going the wrong way. So, I guess we're gonna have to do it where it's like this. Okay, get these lined up. And then I'm gonna have to extend it here. Like this. Oh, we're gonna have to extend it even further. Okay. Okay, let's get this all lined up and then we'll deal with that slanted piece. But yeah, after this, it's gonna be the most beautiful hyena enclosure ever. I'm picturing this as like more of like a modern part of the zoo anyways, so I feel like these wood pieces would actually be perfect. I might have to dirty them up just a little bit, maybe put some leaves on them or something, because I feel like being in the Northwest, Pacific Northwest, this kind of wood would not stay this clean. So I might have to make it a little bit of a more detailed build that way. Maybe some leaf litter on it. I think that would actually look really good. Cool. Yeah, this is kind of the general shape of it that I'm wanting to go for. And then the idea is like we just kind of copy this over. Let's just see what it would look like copied. Not that, not that, that. Just these pieces, so then we can kind of go like so. And line it up. I guess it would be like here. I don't think it's gonna be perfect. Let's go ahead and copy it on the other side. It's not quite perfect. It's not quite lined up. I guess I would need to kind of scoot these back. I might have to mess with this. I think I didn't have an idea, and now I'm just kind of freeballing it. The general idea is there. I think I just have to make it look better. Another thing I wanted to do was I was using these a lot in the Desert Dome, but I love these kind of walls. So we're gonna have it kind of like separate the guests here. So then you have to come in to the hyena little lookout to see them. Yeah, is the idea. Cool. And then I guess we'll also add these kind of down here. I'll probably leave the glass that height, to be honest, because I kind of like that the guests like kind of share the same air a little bit, maybe. I don't know if that would be a safety issue, not gonna lie. I think in real life it might. But in Planet Zoo, I don't think they'd have anybody throwing anything over. But I guess for now, we'll leave it. I might actually end up overhauling it completely, but overall, this is the hyena area completely done. And I think it's looking gorgeous. I just can't believe that animal bridge actually worked. I'll be showing that completed viewing area in a tour very soon. But for now, if you want to keep watching, you can go ahead and click this video right here or subscribe to see exactly when the next one comes out. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.